hard-hitting prospect Julian Williams feels like he's ready to take the next step, adding to the legacy of Philly fighters. And tonight, the 23-year-old said he's ready to become a household name. Historic Fenway Park, home of the 2013 World Series champion Boston Red Sox. And across the street, the House of Blues, where tonight we're getting some exciting boxing action coming your way. It's St. Patrick's Day. A raucous crowd has been waiting all day long to get inside to see some local fighters put on a show at the one and only House of Blues in Boston. And there you see, you have to wear your green on St. Patrick's Day. Fantastic venue, sold out crowds, and the tickets went quick. Everybody's trying to get inside. Wear your green in Boston, of course, on St. Patrick's Day. Our main event tonight, undefeated Julian Williams, the Philly fighter, against veteran Freddie Hernandez, who's looking for the upset tonight. 10 rounds in the junior middleweight division. And alongside former two-time world champion Paulie Malignaggi, I'm Beto Duran. Paulie, St. Patrick's Day, Boston, a sold-out venue. How cool is that?
Very cool. If you're one of the fighters fighting on tonight's card, these are the kind of cards you enjoy fighting on when you're coming up the ladder. You know, the dream is always to fight in front of the big crowds, the big arenas, but it's little venues like this with the crowd right in your face, loud and festive, that make the journey the reward.
The reward tonight for some fighters to make themselves a household name. Let's go join our third member of the crew, Jessica Rosales.
In our first fight tonight, Jamie Kavanagh returns to the ring after his first loss in December to Daniel Ruiz. He was telling me that you learn more from a loss than you do from a win, and that it throws you off mentally. So tonight he has made some changes in his corner and will be focusing on just one voice, and that'll be the voice of his trainer, Joel Diaz. Beto?
And tonight's lineup, our headliner, Julian Williams against Freddie Hernandez. Junior middleweight bout in 10 rounds of exciting action. Williams from Philly, Hernandez from Mexico. Co-main event, Alexis Santos from nearby, outside of Boston, against Sylvester Barron from Washington. That's 6 rounds in the heavyweight division. In the lightweight division, John Joe Nevin, 2012 silver medalist from the UK, makes his pro debut against Puerto Rican Alberto Candelaria. And our opening bout will feature Jamie Kavanagh. He's from the UK, lives in Spain, trains in Indio, California, against Puerto Rican Andres Navarro. And there you see Jamie Kavanagh. Has their Irish flag behind him. He's ready to get going.
Here we see some footage of Jamie Kavanagh. He's a sharp, got some sharp punches, sharp fighter. You know, he's a guy I worked with out with in Wildcard Gym back when he was working out there. And he is a fighter that can show you the whole package at times. Exciting, offensive-minded fighter. Here you see the action is taking somebody out real good here.
Jamie Kavanagh, a lot of power in his punches, 15-1-1, Paulie.
Good goes to the body, you know, a varied attack. You know, it's the defense you'd like to see him sharpen up a little bit, but we'll get to that tonight.
And here's Andres Navarro, 9-4-1 in his career with 6 KOs. He's from Toa Baja, Puerto Rico. Navarro, nicknamed Pajita, which means skinny. He said in Puerto Rico he was always that skinny kid who had trouble trying to keep weight on. He's won his last 5 in a row, but only 1 fight in his last 18 months. And let's go to the tail of the tape. There you see Jamie Kavanagh. He's 23. He's 5'8", 135 and a half with a 70-inch reach. Andres Navarro at the age of 28, 5'6", he's shorter, and he had trouble making weight, needed to lose half a pound yesterday at the weigh-ins, and the reach is the same. Let's go up to the ring with our announcer, Joe Martinez.
And all fight fans, we are set to go. 8 rounds is scheduled in the junior welterweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks trimmed in green, he weighed in officially 137 pounds. His professional record in 14 bouts stands at 9 victories, 4 defeats, 1 draw with 6 wins, coming by way of knockout from Toa Baja, Puerto Rico. Here is Andres Pajita Navarro. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the Irish colors of green, orange, and white. He weighed in officially 135 and 1/2 pounds and brings an outstanding professional record of 15 victories. Just 1 defeat, 1 draw with 7 big wins, coming by way of knockout. Hailing from Dublin, Ireland, here is Jamie, the nuisance Kavanagh. Referee in charge of the action is Bob Benoit.
Okay. Do you speak English? Okay, you'll interpret, okay? Do you speak English? Will you interpret? Thank you very much. Listen, this is simple. When I tell you to stop, you stop. When I tell you to break, I want you to break clean. And when I tell you to box, I want you to resume fighting. Now listen, good luck to both of you. Touch gloves and come out fighting at the belt. Good luck.
And we're getting ready to go. Jamie Kavanagh against Andres Navarro. And Paulie, this is a fight that Kavanagh is coming on something different. His last fight, he was knocked out for his first ever loss. It was a 6-round KO in Cancun, his first fight after a loss. How does a fighter who suffered his first defeat come back into the ring mentally?
Well, you know, sometimes you have some doubts, and a lot of times you're also so hungry to erase that memory and give people new memories, remind people of just how good you can be. Sometimes it's a learning experience and teaches you that you need some change. You know, he's since hired Joel Diaz, a world-class trainer who's trained world champions such as Tim Bradley, you know, and his brother Julio Diaz as well, you know. So you know, sometimes it forces change. We'll see how the new Jamie Kavanagh comes along now.
Jamie, the nuisance Kavanagh, wearing the green trunks with the Irish colors, the orange trim, the white around the belt. Pajita Navarro, black with the neon on the side. We're at the House of Blues in Boston, Massachusetts. A sold-out crowd on St. Patrick's Day. A wonderful atmosphere. But as Jessica Rosales told us in the beginning, Jamie Kavanagh, for the first time, is training with Joel Diaz exclusively. For the longest, he was with his amateur coach. Now, Paulie, it's just one voice in his camp.
Yeah. When he first hired Joel, it was something of a little bit of confusion. You know, they were 2 voices, both guys looking to jockey for who would be the main voice in the corner. But at this point, after losing, you know, it's Joel who's the top guy. And Joel has that kind of experience where you want him to be the top guy.
Navarro is 5-0 in his last 5 fights. After he decided to change trainers himself, he said for the first time he feels like he had a good camp because he has one voice and he knows that somebody actually cares about him. Opening round between Jamie Kavanagh and Andres Navarro. Navarro landing a couple upstairs in front of our referee, Bob Benoit.
And Kavanagh has still retained the services of his old coach, but just as in a secondary manner.
Jamie Kavanagh with an extensive amateur career, reported at 168 and 12 before he turned pro. He's from Ireland, but moved to Spain at the age of 12 after his father decided for business adventures. So Kavanagh, he's a multilingual threat. Speaks English, but his trainer was in Spain, so he learned how to train with he learned Spanish.
Yeah. He's very fluent in Spanish, actually.
Just like you, Paulie Malignaggi.
I'm not as good as Jamie in Spanish, I'll tell you that.
Wild punches from Navarro. And there you see Kavanagh just nice and calm, just like he told us in the meeting, that he didn't want to get too fired up in his first fight back after suffering a KO loss. Kavanagh lands one nice one upstairs.
You see the variation there by Kavanagh, going to the body, going to the head. You like to see a fighter thinking in there and mixing his punches. It's hard to defend against a varied attack.
Navarro, there's a flurry of punches, not really landing many of them. As Kavanagh stays right there with him toe-to-toe.
Yeah, Kavanagh will do that sometimes and you know, fight a little bit more than he should at times, and you know, maybe it's that Irish crowd pressure, you know? You want to put that entertainment in the forefront.
Well, you got to put on a show on St. Patrick's Day, but when you're in a venue where it's 3 levels up and everybody's on top of you, you know, Jamie Kavanagh, the Irish fighter, wants to come out and make a nice impression. Closing seconds of the first round, a nice overran right by Jamie Kavanagh.
Getting away out of there.
And you see Joel Diaz, his trainer, telling him you got to look out for that hook. You know, Navarro throws them, not with much power, but still, though, you have to be aware of it.
Well, he's whipping them in there pretty good, so he doesn't want Kavanagh to pull out after the combination so that he'll be a sitting duck for the left hook. He wants to stay low, keep low, and then you're low on the inside. You know, those hooks will whiz over on top of your head as opposed to on your chin.
Second round of action between Jamie Kavanagh and Andres Navarro, scheduled for 8. And we're talking about his new trainer, Joel Diaz, who also has Timothy Bradley and a bunch of other fighters in Indio. And he's a trainer, when Kavanagh came to him from the wild card, knew what kind of fighter he had, but he had to be careful with what was going on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, he wanted to. He said himself. Diaz told us yesterday he didn't want to change his style. He just wanted to help him out and adjust some things. And that's a lot of time. That's what you want to do when you start with a new trainer. You're not looking to change your style. You're just looking to sharpen some things up. Maybe start fresh.
Jamie Kavanagh, the Irish fighter with the Irish trunks, against Andres Navarro, the Puerto Rican in black with the neon trim. Kavanagh gets hit by one of those hooks that Diaz warned him about. Kavanagh with a big left.
That's what you don't want to see right there. As he tried to get out, he came up. He got caught on the way out.
2 wild punches from Navarro, and you mentioned it, getting caught with those punches.
Yeah, getting caught on the way up. You know, Kavanagh wants to keep low. He's going to stay in the pocket or step around. You want to keep low on your way out.
Kavanagh with a nice left. Navarro answers back.
You know, there's times where you can be a little bit more straight up from the outside, you know, when you're trying to create distance a little bit. But once you're close, at close range, or even on your way out, you want to keep low. And there he came up again on the ropes.
Navarro working the body, exchange a couple rights. Navarro and Kavanagh just chucking him back and forth. Navarro is going for that big knockout punch, Paulie.
Yeah, he knows he's fighting basically a hometown guy. Kavanagh doesn't live in Boston, but an Irish guy on St. Patrick's Day in Boston, you're basically the out-of-towner. So he's not looking to leave it into the hands of the judges.
Yeah, talking to Navarro yesterday, he said the crowd's not going to affect me. I just need to stay in there and keep my fight continue to work, but he's throwing those haymakers.
Yeah, maybe his fight is the haymakers. Who knows?
Navarro does have 6 KOs. He's 9-4-1 in his career. Kavanagh working the body.
And Jamie investing a little bit in the body. Maybe take some sting off those haymakers.
Navarro did have trouble making weight. He had an hour to lose, half a pound. Came back and he did lose them. Nice right hand by Kavanagh. Kavanagh goes back upstairs, downstairs. And there you see the good body work by Jamie Kavanagh.
Yeah, and a little bit of hand speed, you know, moving the hand, throwing in combinations. Sometimes, you know, at one at a time stuff, it'll work here and there, but you want to also show some combinations. And Kavanagh did a good job there in that little exchange.
Goes to the body, good combo by Jamie Kavanagh, gets the crowd reaction, continues to work some nice combos. A big left, gets Navarro, shakes his head, and let's go.
And that time it was Navarro who stood straight up as Kavanagh went to the body, got clipped with the hook to the head.
Closing seconds of the second round, Jamie Kavanagh.
Some action. Big left hand from Jamie Kavanagh right there on the counter, and then some body work, also some more work up top. And that's what you like to see. And there's a combination punching also that I was referring to last round. And when Jamie puts them together, he can do some beautiful offensive work.
Navarro comes out wild. His corner was telling him to breathe and stay calm between rounds. Does the opposite, Paulie.
Yeah.
You were talking about working with Joel Diaz, Jamie Kavanagh's doing, but there were some things that they worked on exclusively.
Yeah, you know, they worked on some things like his stance, you know, keeping, maybe leaning back a little bit more on his stance, maybe on his back leg. Also staying lower a little bit, which is really what you want to do, especially when you're close range like that. He just did that there. And of course, following punches through. You know, you put your weight through on the offensive punches. You have him punching a little harder when you follow through with your shots.
Tonight's CompuBox stats are brought to you by ThrowdownFantasy.com. Draft fighters, track stats, and win. And there you see a big flurry of punches going back and forth. Navarro just continues with the wide ones, lands one on the chin of Kavanagh. The two are just exchanging hooks. Kavanagh with a nice combo, but Navarro's not going anywhere. Good action, Paulie.
Yeah, and Jamie really shouldn't keep his back to the ropes like that. He really, you know, it's a good exchange, good action for the crowd, but he's a better fighter than that. You know, you look to mix it in there when you can, and then you look to leave the guy there and have him chasing you again, you know? Jamie stood in the pocket there a little bit too long, and maybe that's the entertainer in him, the Irish fighter on St. Patrick's Day, a little bit, you know? But you're going to give a guy like Navarro a chance to catch you.
And Navarro is landing a couple of punches. as Kavanagh is on the ropes, doing exactly the opposite of Paulie Malignaggi is saying. Two working each other's body, just going back and forth. A nice right by Kavanagh. And Kavanagh gets him right back into the middle of the ring, off the rope.
Yeah, that time he backed him off the ropes himself.
And there we see 3 good jabs by Kavanagh. This time Kavanagh is bringing the pressure to Navarro. Overhand right by Kavanagh, less than a minute to go in the 3rd round, scheduled for 8.
Let's see if Kavanagh can keep Navarro on the ropes there himself. Backs off, gave him some room.
Jamie Kavanagh was raving about the camp that he had with Joel Diaz, saying how he's calm, how his training is helping him out. And there he lands a couple nice body shots. Navarro now with his mouth open. Maybe that conditioning is kicking into him, his lack thereof.
Oh yeah, also that body work of Kavanagh maybe starting to show some results.
Jamie Kavanagh coming off a knockout loss in Cancun in December, a fight that he said he wasn't really prepared for. He said he overtrained for that one. Here he's looking good against Andres Navarro.
Again, he'll stay right in the pocket for long periods of time. And that's the thing, when you're not a big knockout puncher, Jamie's not a big knockout puncher. I think there's a good exchange there again. And you want to know when it's time to leave and when it's time to stay in the pocket.
Kavanagh continuing to dig into the body shots.
Rated advised.
And just a reminder to follow us on Twitter by using the hashtag GoldenBoyLive. You can get in on our conversation. Use the handle GoldenBoyBoxing to follow us. And of course, tweet us some pictures of your St. Patrick's Day spirit, guys.
Thank you, Jessica. Good action between Jamie Kavanagh and Andres Navarro, and Paulie in the corner. Navarro's corner was asking him to take deep breaths. He wasn't doing it. So they asked him again, talk to me. He wasn't talking. They asked him, are you okay? He didn't answer this. What is wrong with you? Talk to us. Both his trainer, Roberto Navarez, his comment, Jose Soto, pleading for their fighter to give him something.
Maybe he's just mad at them. He wants chose to ignore them.
Or maybe those body shots from Jamie Kavanagh are starting to take effect and he can't breathe.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he's good. He came out fighting now. He's looking to walk Kavanagh down.
We don't ask fighters to talk. We ask them to throw with their, show us with your hands.
Yep.
Jamie Kavanagh in the Irish colored trunks. And Andres Pajita Navarro from Puerto Rico, who's been throwing those wild hooks from the opening bell. And there he gets caught by a left hook by Jamie Kavanagh. Good action between the two in our opening bout. 4th round scheduled for 8. Paulie, when you change trainers and you hear one voice and you feel like you had a good camp, how much more confidence does that give you?
Well, you know, psychologically, boxing is a big part of it. The psychological aspect of boxing is a big part of the sport, you know. So feeling good a lot of times is fighting good, you know. Maybe, you know, Jamie Kavanagh will continue to make strides and make improvements with Joel Diaz. You know, right now, you see Joel Diaz not always happy with the things Kavanagh's doing in the rounds, but Kavanagh's winning. So the trick is to win and keep improving for next time.
One of the things Diaz is talking about how important to get some ring time involved after that knockout. For the first time ever, he was knocked out, and a nice hook by both of the fighters, and they're just changing hooks.
Yeah, and you know, Jamie's got his hands up good, but you got to be careful there. You know, you don't want to always stay in that danger zone, what I call it. You know, that pocket for long stretches of time.
Going back to what Diaz was telling us, that Jamie, coming over from a gym like the Wild Card or different gyms where he was working out with his own trainer, that for him, Indio feels like it's home. He's at peace, and it's different from, say, a gym where there's so many fighters.
Yeah. You know, he felt like he got some good one-on-one time with his trainer, and you know, a lot of times that kind of gym will give you the ability to focus a bit more, because he's landing some good shots there.
You mentioned it in our meetings, how when you would go to the classic Gleason's gym, there were so many fighters in there, you didn't get that personal attention.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, as the gym grows, it becomes a bit more white collar, you know, and so you get fighters in there, you start to get customers, and that's good for the gym, but it's not always good for the fighters. You know, you want to be able to have that fighting training time as well and be able to get that sparring, and you don't always get that in these classic gyms anymore.
Yeah, Kavanagh, who's been working the body, was telling us that when he went to Diaz's camp, he was surprised because he was able to use the ring by himself. Felt like a star.
Some spirited action in the last round. You see an exchange here on the inside. You see Jamie catching with the left hand and shooting with the same hand. That's called a catch and shoot. You know, you block the hook. He blocks the hook there with the hand, and then with the same hand, he shoots off, knowing that Navarro wasn't going to be protecting with that hand because he was just throwing with that same hand.
And we saw in the corner, Jamie Kavanagh telling Joe Diaz he's hitting the glove, and Joe's telling him, who cares, keep that glove up. And Navarro comes out with those hooks, and Kavanagh's able to deflect most of them.
Yeah.
Not that one.
Yeah,
or that
some
one.
of them might be landing on the glove, some of them might not be. But the thing about it is, you don't want to give the guy the best punching distance. And right now, Navarro, a lot of times, even when the punches are being blocked, he's getting some good punching distance, meaning he's getting some good weight on his shots.
What about giving a fighter like Navarro some confidence knowing that he's landing shots?
Yeah, exactly. You know, even if he's catching you on the glove, he's getting good weight on those shots. Although, good body shot there by Kavanagh, back Navarro right off. Let's see if he can follow up here.
Good body shot by Jamie Kavanagh. That's one of his bread and butter tonight, where he's worked the body. Where Navarro continues to go with the hooks upstairs, Kavanagh going up and down, goes again with the left hook to the body.
Yeah, I think Kavanagh had hurt him to the body just a few seconds before, because that follow-up assault and now another follow-up assault. Navarro does not look like he's in a hurry to throw any punches. He might still be catching his breath.
Now he's asking Kavanagh to come bring it, and Kavanagh's doing that. Navarro putting his hand down on the ropes. Jamie Kavanagh working the hook, working the body, goes upstairs. Continues to dig into the body of Pajita Navarro. Nice right hand by Jamie Kavanagh. Wild swing and miss by Navarro. Kavanagh staying nice and tight with those hands, Paulie.
Yeah, he's staying in the pocket. And now, you know, he's got his man kind of feeling the shots now. You know, I'm not saying Navarro is totally hurt, but he's definitely looking fatigued, looking like he's not in some good spirits right now.
Fifth round of action. Jamie Kavanagh's been digging into the body. Goes again. Overhand right lands on the chin of Navarro. They try to exchange. Navarro with that hook again. Nothing else from Navarro. He's throwing the hook, sticking to his game plan, which is hook, hook, hook.
Yeah, he's just trying to show Kavanagh that he's around still. You know, he doesn't want to give Kavanagh that free entrance, but Jamie senses Navarro fading and is stepping it up.
And there, Jamie stays with him, pushes him around as Navarro clenches. You're talking about the body shots kicking in, the effect is taking on the ball. There you see Navarro holding on. Upstairs from Jamie Kavanagh, hit the body again. Navarro's backed up.
Those body shots are really paying dividends. Beto, I'm telling you, those are hurting Navarro worse than the headshots.
And when you work the body and you go upstairs like Jamie Kavanagh's doing, looking fresh, there you see Pajita Navarro on his bike. He's going backwards. And Jamie Kavanagh continues to stalk, has him in the corner. Kavanagh.
He gets some good weight on those left hooks to the body. Some real leverage on them.
Navarro has nothing on those wild punches now here in the fifth round. Good round for Jamie Kavanagh. Puts his hand up as he goes back to the corner. He's feeling pretty good about himself.
Okay, talk to me. Jamie, if you don't get too close to this fucking guy, you can knock him out. But you're lunging, take a deep breath. Take a fucking deep breath and relax yourself.
Previous round here from Kavanagh, all Kavanagh in that round. Double left hook to the body into the head. Another exchange here. All Kavanagh. He takes a hook on the way in, but man, what a right hand he lands on Navarro right there. There's some more action. Beautiful body work, doubling up to the head. This is what we talked about, getting some good leverage on those body shots, Kavanagh, especially in that last round.
And we'd like to apologize for the language that you heard in the corner. Sixth round scheduled for 8. House of Blues in Boston is fired up. Everybody's standing around checking out. Good fight between Jamie Kavanagh and Pajita Navarro from Puerto Rico.
I like Diaz's instructions in the corner, though. He said if you don't get too close, you will knock this guy out. What he's trying to say is don't smother your work. In other words, don't smother your punches. When you get too close, you can't get the leverage you want. Jamie wants to get close, but not too close. He wants to still be able to keep that punching distance where he can get maximum weight on his shots, because Navarro's fading. If he can keep landing some hard shots on him, he will go.
And Kavanagh does exactly what the trainer said, keeping his distance, from Navarro, had him in the corner, kept his distance, landed a couple nice shots. Now we're here in the middle of the ring. You're talking about a fighter who's fading. You see Navarro going back, Paulie.
Yeah, exactly. And even when he's got him on the ropes, he can still maintain the proper punch distance. You know, here it is again. He's got a chance to do it again. And there, just like that. You see how that right hand came out snapping because there's enough space to put weight on it. If you're too close, you can't extend it the way you want to.
Some big shots from Jamie Kavanagh. And let's go to Jessica Rosales.
You guys mentioned that Jamie was bilingual, both English and Spanish, and although we're hearing English in the corner during the fights, he prefers Spanish. That's because growing up and learning fighting, his amateur coach would talk to him in Spanish, so he said now when he hears instructions in English being yelled at him, it takes him about a second to kind of translate that over to Spanish.
That's interesting. So you got to translate. You're already trying to fight, so now you got to translate. And that's just the situation with Joe Diaz. But Jamie Kavanagh, English, Spanish, whatever it is, he's listening to his corner, looking good here in the 6th round, Paulie.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, he's listening to those instructions from Diaz very well here because he's doing a better job of keeping proper punch distance, not lunging in this round. He had a great round last round, but he just could have had a better one. A big right hand there again.
That big right hand stung Navarro. Kavanagh continues, as you said, Paulie, keep the distance, but Navarro is now the one smothering him because he knows he's feeling those punches.
Of course, well, the smothering is a defensive tactic. You know, you don't want to use it if you don't want to do that if you're the one who's being on the attack.
Big left from Kavanagh. Another left from Kavanagh. Crowd on his feet. Crowd yelling for Jamie Kavanagh. An Irish fighter on St. Patrick's Day in Boston putting on a show. There he lands a good punch to the face of Navarro. Kavanagh with the left. Kavanagh continuing to work Navarro. 30 seconds to go in the 6th round. Can Navarro hold on? And he's fighting back. Jamie Kavanagh goes upstairs, keeping his distance like his trainer told him between rounds.
Hard on Navarro though, man. He's tough in this one out.
He's a tough fighter. Andres Navarro from Boa Baja, Puerto Rico, 9-4-1, and he's earning it tonight. Jamie Kavanagh, nothing easy. The two have been going toe-to-toe.
Another big round for Jamie Kavanagh last round is a big right hand. Navarro kind of pulls up on his way out. And you stand straight up from that close, you're going to catch a big shot.
Navarro's corner telling him, keep your hands up this round. See if he listens, because Jamie Kavanagh's starting to land some of the big shots, Paulie.
Yeah, it's hard, you know, when you're fatiguing and you're getting tired. It's that much harder for a guy like Navarro to keep those hands up.
Navarro's last fight was in June of last year. He scored a 3rd round knockout. That was in the Dominican Republic, so he's had plenty of rest, maybe some of that ring rust here.
Yeah, exactly.
Jamie Kavanagh continuing to bring the pressure. And this is a sense where you can feel if you're Kavanagh, he lands a big left, Paulie, that you know your opponent is hurt.
Yeah, exactly. Or at least fading, for sure. Kavanagh invests in some body work again there.
And we haven't seen the big hooks from Navarro that we saw earlier in the fight. If anything, Navarro is all defensive the last few rounds.
Yeah, because you need the energy to throw those, and he doesn't have much energy there to do that.
And on the flip side, Jamie Kavanagh looking fresh with lots of energy, landing his shots at will right now. They knew they were going to get themselves into a tough fight. They wanted some good rounds for Jamie Kavanagh, especially coming up after that knockout loss, his first one of his career. But this is something where you can go back, if you're Joel Diaz and Jamie Kavanagh, you could definitely learn something from this, right, Paulie?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, there's things he's doing good, and there's things he's got to work on. You know, and this is the kind of fight where they can go back to the video. You expect him to come out victorious, and then progress from there.
Kavanagh up against Navarro, who is not going away. You didn't expect him to go anywhere. He said he knew he was up for a challenge. He knew why he was brought here. He said, but it wasn't going to be easy for Kavanagh. And he's definitely not making it.
Yeah, and he's got Kavanagh against the ropes now here.
Kavanagh able to escape. Get back to the middle of the ring. Kavanagh has his hands down, a little bounce in his step. Nice left from Jamie Kavanagh. Bit of
of a quieter round, this one for Kavanagh. He's still doing a good job, but the assault has lightened up. Maybe he's catching up his breath as well.
Kavanagh sticks his mouth out, opens it up, and has his tongue sticking out. You don't see that from fighters who usually win in a fight.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe he's a little punched out himself. He's throwing a lot of hard punches tonight.
Throwing a lot of hard punches, throwing a lot of punches. And he continues. At one point, you could tell that he had Navarro on the ropes, was hurting him, and Navarro not going anywhere, staying right there with him. Closing seconds of the 7th round, scheduled for 8. Jamie Kavanagh, Andres Navarro. Been a good one. Our opening bout at the House of Blues in Boston. St. Patrick's Day. Of course you gotta love it.
Stop. Break. Step back.
Round Kavanagh had a bit quieter of a round, but still did a lot to win the round. A grazing left hook there, comes back with a counter jab. Sometimes when you just simplify, you can still win the rounds and get a little bit of rest. Sometimes it's not always about countering with the big shot. Even a simple jab will stop the forward momentum of your opponent.
8th and final round. Jamie Kavanagh, born in Dublin, Ireland, now lives in Malaga, Spain, but trains in Indio, California. Against Andres Navarro from Toa Baja, Puerto Rico. Been a good fight there for Jamie Kavanagh. What do you do in this 8th round? You know you're ahead on the cards, or you should expect to be, but you go for the kill, Paulie?
Depends how much energy you got. You don't want to put yourself in harm's way, but at the same time, you do want to, give the fans some more entertainment, something to remember you for. Although Navarro might be just using the last of the gas tank that he's got left as well, knowing it's the last round and needs a knockout.
Navarro, last couple rounds, was absorbing some punches that you mentioned. It looked like the fatigue factor's in there, but when you're in the 8th round and you know you need a knockout, he even said he needed a knockout to win at the fighter meeting, and you got those hooks, you have to be careful if you're Kavanagh.
Of course, and that's about, the proper punch distance, making sure you're punching from the right distance, but also able to get out of the way of the punches. If there's one flaw Jamie has, it's he stays in the pocket for long periods of time like he's a puncher. His record doesn't say that he's a puncher. He's a great body puncher, puts some combinations together, but he should do a little bit better job of leaving the pocket at times.
Now, you mentioned that you had trained with him at the Wildcard Gym. Just saw him.
Yeah, and he's got some good skills. It's just a matter of sometimes it's not really about the skills as much as it is about the decision making. What decisions you decide to make in certain moments in fights.
Kavanagh, born in 1990. Still a young fighter. 15-1-1 in his career. There with an uppercut, followed with a nice hook. Kavanagh definitely has the crowd behind him. Now Kavanagh bleeding a little bit from his right eye. Navarro was cut early. He was bleeding from his nose in the 2nd round. Nice hook by Navarro. Less than a minute to go in the 8th and final round. Opening fight, a good one so far. Good Jamie Kavanagh controlling this fight, leading the pace.
And that's the risk you take when you want to finish the fight with a bang. Now he's got a cut on his eye. You know what I'm saying? And that, sometimes you want to play it safe, but then, you say, hey, why not give the fans what they want?
You want to give the fans what they want, but you also want to feel good about yourself. And Navarro has cut Kavanagh on the right eye. Shouldn't have an effect with the judges, but regardless, though, you go back and look at the tape, that's going to be a problem.
Of course, and that blood may have spurred Navarro on. He's had his best rounds in quite a few rounds. I'm not sure he's won it. Jamie's still done some good work, but Navarro's definitely made himself a bit livelier this round than he was in the past couple of rounds.
Navarro now closing seconds of the fight between Jamie Kavanagh and Andres Navarro. 10 seconds to go. Kavanagh throwing a flurry of punches. Crowd urging him on. Navarro takes a big right. Kavanagh lands him. Navarro says, "Hey, legs just get going." A good fight is over between Jamie Kavanagh and Andres Navarro. Crowd likes it, Paulie.
Oh yeah, what's there not to like if you're in the crowd for this fight?
You're an Irishman fighting in Boston on St. Patrick's Day. Can't say it enough, though. You have the crowd behind you. And Jamie Kavanagh, in his first fight back since he was knocked out in December, looked good tonight.
Got that one the last.
Right at the end of the last round, you see Navarro gets himself out of position, throwing a weird hook, and Kavanagh gets underneath it, comes back with a right-hand counter. Good shot. It was literally right at the bell.
Navarro absorbed some nice punches from Jamie Kavanagh today.
Yeah.
Shows a lot about the heart that he has, the Puerto Rican fighter.
Of course, of course. And also, we have a minute. I want to wish Bobby Diaz a happy birthday tonight. Happy 16th birthday to Bobby Diaz in Pasadena, California.
Man, to be 16 years old.
The good old days.
Man, dad buys you a car. What more do you need? The final punch stats, Jamie Kavanagh threw 304. He landed 304 punches. Navarro landed 109. There you see Kavanagh throwing the 41% of the punches. Navarro only 23% he landed. And tonight's CompuBack stats are brought to you by ThrowdownFantasy.com. Draft fighters, track stats, and win.
Some highlights of the fight. Some of the shots Kavanagh landed all throughout the night. And, you know, Navarro was lively. He was game and kept himself around all through the night. And, you know, gave Kavanagh some shots to think about on his own. But really, it was all Kavanagh most of the night. Good combinations, good shots, and a lot of clean shots he landed.
Jamie Kavanagh from Dublin, Ireland, 23 years old. There you see him. The Nuisance is his nickname. This is the kind of fight, though, Paulie, after you've been knocked out, that you need after your confidence, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you want to come back with a bang and put that negative memory behind you.
We got the last one, the last 5 seconds.
Let's go to the ring with our announcer, Joe Martinez.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards. We have a unanimous decision. Judge John Malphus scores at 80-72, while judges Fitzgerald and Morrell come to the same score, 79-73. All three for your winner. From Dublin, Ireland, Jamie, the Nuisance Kavanagh.
Jamie Kavanagh, impressive tonight. Wins all across the board with the judges, is now 16-1-1. Good opening fight for us here.